Welcome to Peter Evans Art. I'm Peter. This is Arie, and today we're going to draw a Nintendo character that I used to love when I was a boy, and Arie loves him now, and his name is Toad. One of my favourite Mario Kart characters, Toad. We're just going to draw a simple drawing of Toad. So let's get started, hey?
Okay, make sure you've got your HB pencil, your paper, and the very first shape we're going to draw is a oval shape. This is going to be Toad's head. Position it sort of near the top of your page, and it's a sideways oval shape. Draw it lightly and try and draw it in one motion. Then about halfway down we're going to draw a curved line, and that's going to be the top of Toad's face. Then we're going to bring a half an oval shape just down to break the existing oval shape that we've got. Rub that line out. You can get a rubber and rub that out. Just be careful. You could rub it out later if you wanted to, but I've done it because it gives us a bit of space for the mouth. The next thing I'm going to do is two oval shapes, the same size in the middle of, or up the top of the head, and then we're going to draw a mouth, which is basically a straight line with a semicircle on the bottom. We're going to draw the tongue, and now we're going to draw some circular or curved lines for the top of Toad. Okay, we've got the basic shape of the head. Now the body is another full oval shape if you were to continue it through, but we've drawn it underneath. And this is his jacket, so he comes down a little bit more than halfway, and we just use the curve of the oval shape. Then we put a couple of lines in for the seam or the part of the jacket, the yellow part. Then we do the feet, a couple of little oval shapes just tucked in behind the body. And obviously the next part is the tricky part, and that is the arms. So we can bring the arms out, and then we're going to have obviously 4 fingers, and you'll notice that I left the thumb off, but we can put that back in there. Okay, the fingers, we're going to draw 4 fingers and the thumb sticking up. And then we're going to add the other thumb on to match the thumb from the other side. You can see I'm just going over some of my lines. There we have Toad. We're missing the eyeballs and a couple of other details that we can add in later on when we get the Sharpie ready for the Sharpie. Here we have Arie doing the last minute touches on his Toad before we start going into outlining. Now with our outline, we can choose to use a Sharpie, which is a permanent marker, or we could use a black outliner. The reason I've gone with a permanent marker is if I wanted to, I could use watercolor paints, pencils, or textures without it smudging. For this video, we're going to use color. I've sped up the video here to show you how we can go around the outline. You can slow this down at any time you like, and if you make a mistake on the outer lines, that's okay, because later on I'm going to add a thicker outline. If you need to change any areas or you're not happy with any bits, you've got to be careful on this stage, because obviously being a black outline pen, we can't rub it out. We've finished our outline, but I think to make it stand out a bit more, I'm going to put a thicker outer line around Toad, and that also hides that little mistake that I made earlier. Okay? Rather than having to redraw the whole lot, I've emphasized it by putting a thicker outline. We call this variety of line. It can make our pictures look pretty good. You can already see that that provides a little bit more impact with the outer line being thicker. Here we have Arie going over his lines with his Sharpie, really concentrating, doing an amazing job. Being a great little sidekick in drawing his toad. You can see his toad picture at the end of the video. Before we colour it in, we're just going to make sure we've rub out all our pencil lines, and looks pretty neat. Make sure you hold your paper so it doesn't crinkle when you're trying to rub out. And I'm starting with a simple red pencil. You might want to test your pencils if you've got more than one red, just to make sure it's the right colour. Test it on scrap paper and you can see that I'm colouring in nice and neatly. Not putting any shading on at this stage, just putting down some flat colour. I've sped up the video so that you can see me colouring in neatly. Just added a couple of little lines for the shoe soles of the boots. You can see that I don't have too many colours. I've got red, blue, yellow, and a couple of different browns. I'm going to do a darker sole colour. And he just needs a bit of skin colour as well on Toad. Now I'm just using some everyday pencils that you might have at home. And you can see with a Sharpie, some colour pencils, you can create a really cool effect. I'm just putting a little bit of grey on for a bit of shadow on the white areas, just where it might be a little bit darker, finishing off the mouth. And you can see I have a nice little picture of Toad. Hope you enjoyed drawing Toad as much as we did. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.